Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to PBTV. I'm Stuart, and today we've brought an absolute beauty out for you. These landed with us yesterday. We've had a bit of a chance to play with them, get some information about them, and they should be on the website soon. But any questions as we're going on these throughout the stream, please drop them down below. We're live on YouTube and Facebook. You can drop the questions on either one. We'll flash them up and make sure whoever wants to know the information will get the information out there. So what are these? We've got two different versions here. These are the Cybergun Desert Eagles, the L6. So I've brought out the gas version and the CO2 version. The CO2 version has a really cool party trick, which Sam on YouTube has clicked on straight away. Are they full auto? The CO2 ones, yes. The green gas ones, no. But the green gas one does still have some cool little features. We'll come on to the CO2 one shortly. But externally, they are quite similar controls. There are a few very minor differences between them that I'll come to as and when. But again, if at any point I don't cover something properly, just drop your question below and we'll answer it as quick as we can. So, first thing to note, they are massive. This thing in the hand is absolutely huge. So, sort of your 80s movies bad guy is where this thing got its sort of hero status from. Vinnie Jones and stuff like that running these as bad guys in, say, Lock, Stock, and previous to that. It's just a hard-hitting monster of a platform, and the kick on these match really, really well. So this one is the gas blowback version, but the sort of layout is very similar. So you do have a 20mm rail on the top. Normally Desert Eagles have a unique style, quite wide rail set for a very specific type of optic. What they've done with this, if they've narrowed it slightly and allow you to put any sort of standard airsoft dot sight on there. Try not to go for something too low end or too cheap, because the kick on this is extremely, extremely strong on the CO2 and the gas one. So you want something that's going to hold zero and not damage the electronics as this thing's rattling around. Again, you've got rail on the bottom as well, so if you're wanting to stick a grip or a torch on it, absolutely fine. Brandon on YouTube, are they fun to shoot? Absolutely. I think if you got hold of one of these, you'd probably go through 5 or 6 mags just playing with it, testing it and stuff like that before you even got it in game. Even just racking it's fun. It's super cool. Leon Walker, lock, stock, and 2 smoking barrels, iconic. Yes. Other people have replica. I have Desert Eagle .50 on the side of mine, and because these are licensed by Cybergun, they do have it. So there is a slight difference between the way that they are marked. So the green gas version is sort of deep etched, but it is a more chrome finish as well. As you can see, it's quite shiny, but it does have the 5080 on the front and all the Magnum Research markings on the side and serial numbers. What you'll notice with the CO2 version, again with the rail on the bottom, is it is actually just lasered onto the finish. So they've finished these with a more sort of powder coat. This is the sort of powdered silver one, so it's not quite chrome, it's a bit more gunmetal silver. Really nice colour. It's almost got a slight bronze to it as well. Someone said in one of the photos we put on Instagram, it's almost slightly bronze, which is very cool. There's almost like a dual tone between the upper and lower as well. But again, 20mm rail on the bottom, so you're not limited with your optics or things that you want on the bottom. I mean, you could make something absolutely horrific with this if you wanted to put one of the little Zoxner shotguns on this. So not only are you chatting off really loud recoil and everything, that if someone gets a bit too close, you just loose off a little mini shotgun as well. So other features that are slightly different. So if I go back to the green gas one, so you have a standard sort of pistol grip plastic grip here. It is super, super big in the hand, obviously because of the size of the mags. So if you can see that, if I move it to the side, you can see how big the mag is. So that's the green gas mag. Matt Pearson, afternoon. Bought a Cybergun L658 gas pistol a while ago, but it seemed to have stopped selling the mags. I haven't checked the order yet. We've just got these in to show them off, but if we've got these in, I'd be surprised if we ain't got the mags in. So we've got the green gas Desert Eagle and we've got the CO2 one. I can check afterwards to see if the mags are in, but they will be available very, very soon as well. So the main difference that you have is obviously this one is CO2. In the box, you do have the Allen key to attach to fit the CO2, so it is nice and easy to do. Love the mini shotgun idea. Yeah, I mean, what's more scary? Someone running around with a big Desert Eagle, or if they do come around, they're going to get the mini shotgun as well. So just knowing that's on the field, you're going to put a little bit of fear into your enemy. And if we like to play mind games, that's a total different way to play it. So the main, obviously, difference between this is the safety at the back here. When it's in the up position now, there's a little 20 mark. So that means it is full auto. Down in the center is semi, and right down at the bottom is safe. It is a very, very stiff safety, so when it is in that full auto, it's not going to shake out of it, which is a really, really good sort of construction mark that they've done. There are some slight difference between like the muzzle brake and everything like that. The portholes are slightly bigger on the CO2, and when you rack this, so Brandon Nichols, does the CO2 kick harder than the green gas? Testing these before we came live, the CO2 absolutely does kick harder, and with it being full auto, there is extra buffering in the back. So when I come back, there's a buffer, and it doesn't quite lock as... So try and do it on this one. So you can hear that one locking against the slide, whereas with the CO2 one, because of the buffer that they've put at the back plate to stop it rattling itself to pieces, it's a bit more cushioned at the back. But when this thing chats off in full auto, you are going to know about it, and you need both hands on it. I can see people going through 20 CO2 bulbs just having fun with this before they even get in a game. It's absolutely awesome. And also, again, you'll notice that it's got the sort of ergonomic style grip on this one, so it's got the finger loops and it is a little bit more rubberized. Again, that's probably a design element with this being the CO2 and full auto. What we did notice as well, I presume again in the design and everything like that, the CO2 is a fixed hop. So you can't adjust this one, as far as I'm aware. When I've looked into it, there's no adjustment screw or anything taking the slide off. And also, the FPS on the CO2 one is lower. They've done that specifically because CO2 inherently is a lot more powerful, but what they want to make sure this is low. So this one sits at about 300 FPS, plus or minus about 5, depending when the CO2 is about to run out. The green gas one, tested this one just before, and this one's sitting up about 340. So the green gas one is brilliant. I just wish the mag showed how many BBs are left. Yeah, good point. So with the mags as well, obviously normally you can see the BBs down the front. It's sort of a pro and con between that. So if you can see the BBs down the front and everything, and if they're in pouches and all that, it allows for dirt ingress and everything. So especially if they're in pouches on belts or anything like that, you can get dirt into that track, and it can cause issues with the internals. Obviously, the only counter to that is try and count your BBs. You do have 28 plus 1. So what I mean by that is you have 28 in the mag, and it does mean that you could rack it, put another one in. It means you've got plus 1 in the chamber. Speaking of the chamber, you might not be able to see it a bit, but very, very tiny at the top of where the hop's found there. On the green gas version, there's a very, very, very small Allen key. That is the hop adjustment on the green gas version. So it's super easy to do. You don't have to take the slide off or anything like that. The slides are quite easy to take off, and I know some people in the past, because obviously what's more scary than a single Desert Eagle is running two, is there's nothing wrong with getting the silver one and swapping the slide over onto the black one. I know a mate of mine did that with his silver and chrome Desert Eagles in the past because he used to run two. So he took the silver sort of just the back half here, you could put it on the black one, you could swap it over, and it just means you've got something quite unique and slightly different. And it did look really cool when he was running around with two Desert Eagles. Definitely scaring people. Iron sights on these are the same on both, so you do have very, very standard sort of just blackout iron sights. They are quite easy to get your eyes down on and aim with these, but again, when this thing's bouncing off in full auto, you're not really aiming, you're just putting rounds down range. It is super loud, super obnoxious, and super, super fun. And again, with 28 rounds, I think when we tested it before, you'll probably get about 2 full auto mags out of a CO2 bulb. Semi-auto is a little bit more efficient, but if you filled this with BBs, you'd be able to run it, fill it again, and by the time you get into the end, it will lock back, but then you'll have a few sporadic shots left before you're about to have to change your CO2. So we'll just quickly have a look at the other options. So there is a black option as well. It's going to be quite hard to see, so if I hold it out there. Brandon on YouTube again. Love the green gas one. I got the Deadpool L6 cyber gun so they do loads of different versions, so that's why I brought a couple out with the different colours, but they did a red painted Deadpool one, so that's the plain black one. It's quite hard to see against my hoodie, so if I do it like that you can kind of see it a bit better. Again, does have the rail on the top, the bottom, making it super easy to put optics and everything on. Again, the CO2 one is a fixed style hop from as far as I can tell, looking at the controls and everything and taking it apart earlier. Saying that, if you are doing maintenance and everything, Desert Eagles are really, really simple to take apart. There is just a lever there. Once it's racked back, drop that down, press the button, drop that down, the front end comes off, and the slide splits into two parts. You can clean it, lube it, make sure it's all sorted for the next time you want to run out there. One point to note as well is obviously with the muzzle brake and the system that they've got on the front, it'll be easier to see on the silver one with my black hoodie, is there is no threaded barrel on this, so there's no way of sticking any form of trace suits or anything. You're not going to need to. It's just a lot of fun. Black Bear Bandits Airsoft on Facebook. Does it eat through green gas very quickly? Not really. We've tested quite a few rounds through the green gas one, and like what I was saying with the CO2 one CO2 bulb will get you about 2 mags worth of BBs before it starts getting a little bit too weak to throw the heavy slide back, but that's on full auto. On semi-auto, it's probably a little bit more efficient than that, and it is very, very consistent with the FPS as well, until you get to maybe the last 5 where it starts wearing off. The green gas one was really, really good when it came to the amount of rounds coming out. Leon, the green gas one version full auto. No, this is so it is a different model completely. So these are the L6, and this is a different model. This is just, and again, there are a few feature differences. So the markings on it are different. These are deep etched markings. The slide seems to travel a little bit further on this, so it does kick a bit further back. But with it being green gas, you do have the option of running different gases in it when it gets to summer and winter, and being able to tailor your FPS a bit more for outdoor CQB and everything like that. But they do kick about the same, because this one runs up at about 340 FPS, whereas these are down at about the 300. The way that they've put them together internally, the nozzles are slightly different. They do kick about the same. The green gas one as well, with it being green gas as well, you're going to suffer massively from cooldown. If this had a full auto capability, it's probably not going to get through that many rounds. So a full auto system on this wouldn't be the better choice. It's much, much better to do the full auto system on the CO2, because then you don't get cooldown. You've got much more consistency between shot after shot, and it is very, very cool. One thing I did notice when I was looking at these as well, again, it's just a design aesthetic, is the top is full alloy and everything like that. The receiver itself is polymer, but all the internals and the buffer systems inside are made out of like a rubber to stop any sort of stress passing through into the receiver. But this thing's really, really comfy in the hand. I kind of prefer the grip of the CO2 one with the sort of Hogue style ergonomic grip compared to the standard plastic one. This standard plastic one just feels a little bit too wide in my hands. It'll be perfect for other people, but I'm more of a fan of the sort of ergonomic style that it has there. So again, I'll quickly go through the features that we've done for people that have joined afterwards. So the main one is obviously the differences: green gas and CO2, semi-auto, semi and full auto capable on the CO2, but the rail on top, normally with Desert Eagles you have a very wide set proprietary rail for very, very specific optics. What they've done with this is they've dropped it to a standard 20mm rail, so you can put any dot sight, you could put an EOTech or anything on here and just be bonkers. You could put a pistol short dot and have some real fun with it. You've got a rail all across the bottom for torches, anything like that. If you're running the CO2 one, I'd put a grip on the front of it because it bounces around like an absolute crazy thing. Ported front end just for aesthetic, and you've got a slight difference. So this one has plastic grip, whereas the CO2 one has a Hogue style rubberized ergonomic grip, and your safety is at the back, easy to click down. The safety on the back of the CO2 one, the number 20 at the top, so when it's at the top it's in full auto, center single fire, at the bottom is safe. The magazines that come with them, so you're getting 28 rounds plus one, so you could have one in the chamber and then 28 in the mag. You are getting about 2 mags worth of full auto out of one CO2 bulb, and then a few semi-autos. Black Bear Bandits on Facebook again. Definitely something to get our paws on. These things are just... as soon as people start hearing these chatting off, they're not going to want to come in doorways. They're not going to come around corridors. Just the noise of this thing is enough to probably make people run. And like I was saying earlier, get a Zoxner on the bottom of this. You could run these as a primary and just have loads of fun. And like I was saying, you could make them, you could customize them together. You could drop the slide if you ended up getting two. You could the slide off this, put it on the back of the black one, put the black one on this, and you've got like a unique setup. Give them names or anything, and just run around with two pistols all day. Loads of fun. So if there are no other questions, we've covered loads. Then it's always good to talk to everyone, seeing what their thoughts are on new stuff when it arrives. If again, as always, if we've missed your question, please drop us a message on Instagram or below the video, and we'll try and get back to you as quickly as possible. We'll try and get up whether or not the mags arrived with these. I've just got these out of the box to show them off. But if the mags have arrived, they'll be online soon as well. But we hope you've enjoyed these as much as we have, and hopefully you'll get a chance to get one yourself. As always, for the remainder of the month, remember May Madness is on, so just keep hopping on there every day. We keep adding new stuff to the May Madness discount sale, keeping our social media, all the videos and promotion that's coming out for anything new that hits that. Until tomorrow then, we'll be back again at 4 p.m. tomorrow for another standard unboxing and a little bit of a review, and then hopefully we'll get on to some brand stuff later in the week. Until then, I'll see you in a bit. Bye.